You're listening to the Back Porch Talk podcast. Danny and Jason had many discussions and debates on the back porch while making pivotal investment moves with assets. That's right, with trading cards. They welcome you to the back porch and right into those discussions about current sports news with a fresh and unique twist. So come on and join us. Welcome to the Back Porch Top Podcast. I'm your co-host Jason.
Co-host Danny.
And we got a full show for you today. Listen, the NBA Finals is upon us. And oh boy, your boy may be right. And then a little MLB, a little baseball. But first, Danny, right into the NBA Finals, where Game 5, the pivotal game, OKC Thunder, they prevailed 120-109 against the Indiana Pacers. And this puts OKC Thunder ever so closer to the NBA title, one game away.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 3-2 series lead for OKC Thunder. The full breadth of the OKC Thunder team was really upon display. Jalen Williams just went bananas. He had a 40-point game. Shea had a 31-point game. He also had 10 assists. And that was very key. That was very pivotal. I think that opened things up for Jalen Williams a number of times, and where he ultimately scored his 40, 3 for 5 from the three-point line, 14 for 25 in field goals. Shea only went 9 for 21, 13 for 14 from the free throw line. You kidding me? And it just opened things up. The bench was playing better. Aaron Wiggins with 14 points off the bench. Carson Wallace also had 11 points off the bench. Chet Holmgren only had 9 points, but he had 11 pivotal rebounds, 3 blocks. And I think the big question, though, is really on the Indiana Pacers side. There's a whole lot of questions in the game. And just as I acknowledge that Carlisle is a great coach, I think he made a coaching mistake in this game, and that is really keeping TJ McConnell on the bench in the fourth quarter, man. TJ McConnell had a game for the ages in the third quarter. He just went nuts, and he was the one who actually kept the Pacers in the game, especially in the third quarter. Halliburton just didn't have a great game at all. He got injured, the calf. They're going to do an MRI. They're ruling it a calf strain. We'll see what the MRI says here and how that would impact him in Game 6. But Halliburton didn't even have a field goal. He didn't even have a made field goal. He went 4 for 4 from the free throw line, and those were his only points from the free throw line, 4 points. Had 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and I don't know, Danny. I think me as a coach, I would have rode McConnell. I would have rode him, man. At this juncture, you're trying to get the victory by any means necessary. Whoever is hot, and McConnell was hot as fish grease. Go ahead and leave him in, man. What say you, Danny, about this NBA final game?
Jason, I just shook my head last night. In that fourth quarter, so for those of you who did not watch the game, the Pacers were getting dragged throughout this game. And then McConnell, like Jason mentioned, went wild in the third quarter. And when they went to the fourth quarter, the Pacers cut it to 2, 95-93. All of a sudden, the wheels fell off. But the person I thought who should have been subbed out the game was Nembhard. He had 5 turnovers in the fourth quarter alone. And Tyrese Halliburton had 2 or 3 bad turnovers.
Yeah.
They had key mistake after key mistake. And I'm sitting there watching the game like, where's McConnell? He brought you all the way back.
Mm-hmm.
The team was rallying around him. And you already knew something was wrong with Halliburton. But like I said, Nembhard made the case even stronger for him to take him out the game because he was just throwing the ball away. He just looked lost at times. And he's been playing great the whole series because he has to play on both ends, having to play the defense on SGA, and they threw the game away. And that was key in that fourth quarter because I thought they were going to beat OKC. But when they came back and Siakam started getting hot as
Mm-hmm.
well, but they've blown two key opportunities in this series. And when they go back, if they lose on Thursday night, or if they go to Game 7 and lose, they have to look at themselves at these last two games, especially Carlisle in this one,
Yeah, Carolina in
because
this one especially. Yeah.
because those turnovers, they just kept turning the ball over. I'm like, what are
Hmm.
you doing? You got to change it. Go back to McConnell, but he didn't, and now they're on the verge of elimination.
And just as we're talking about turnovers, I mean, the Indiana Pacers had 23 turnovers to the OKC Thunder 11 turnovers. The OKC Thunder scored 32 points off of those 23 turnovers compared to only 9 points scored off of the 11 OKC Thunder turnovers. So I think it's over, Danny. I initially called this series 4 games to 2. I'd say OKC Thunder in
Mhm.
6. Pacers after game one, when the Pacers won, I was like, oh, my prediction is not rock solid anymore.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, this is going 7.
Yep.
I think after game 2, I still was like, okay, this may go 7. Game 3, I was like, yeah, this is definitely going 7.
Hmm.
And after, game 5, I'm like, this may be a 6, going back to my original prediction of OKC Thunder in 6. I will say the refereeing, in my opinion, at OKC, especially for Game 5, was a little bit more. They let them play a little bit more
Hmm.
physical. I think that's why you saw so many turnovers.
Yeah.
And I just wish it was as consistent. The referee calling is consistent throughout the finals because you really want to see the best of the best really go at it
Yep.
and don't have to worry about, the calls or anything of that sort. But the other thing of the note here too is Miles Turner for the Pacers. I think he continues to get outplayed by Chet Holmgren. Miles Turner had 13 points, even though he outscored Chet Holmgren in this game, and where Chet only had 9 points. Just the activity alone, the active body
Hmm.
alone. And granted, Chet falls down a whole lot of times, and he may want to watch that because he's not a thick boy.
Yep.
He's pretty skinny there, pretty frail, but he continues to outplay, in my opinion, Miles Turner. We'll see. What's your prediction there, Danny? Is this done? Is this a done deal?
If Halliburton is out game 6 or is limited, I think it's done. But here's the thing with Indiana, they're going home.
Mm-hmm.
So this will help their case
Mm-hmm.
to at least try to steal another game. But it's going to be tough, man. Just all the effort and everything they put into these last two games and they lost. That's tough to bounce back from. And Jason, one other thing I just want to call out
Mm-hmm.
is we talked about this and you brought this up is the mid-range game and the 2-point shots that OKC is taking.
Yeah. Yep.
Shea and Jalen Williams, they just take twos, man. They'll take a three. Jalen he actually hit a big three last night
Mm-hmm.
to put them up 5 when Indiana cut it to 2.
Mm-hmm.
But it was out of necessity. It wasn't out of just because.
Mm-hmm.
They pick their spots. They're very strategic on that, and that's something that if you like 2-pointers in the old school type of way of game, box score or whatever you want to call it,
Mm-hmm.
OKC is the team to watch.
And it's a different strategy. I think
Hmm.
we've seen a lot of NBA teams just go and shoot the three, right?
Yep.
And don't make adjustments and where when the three doesn't hit, they continue to shoot it,
Yep.
i.e. Boston Celtics, in my opinion.
Yes.
And OKC is like, okay, this three's not working. Let's just take it on the inside, right?
Hmm.
I'm saying this is finished because look, man, the Larry OB trophy is going to be in the building. OKC Thunder know that. but also the Indiana Pacers know that too. So it's going to be interesting how they defend their court, defend another team celebrating on the court.
Mm-hmm.
At the same token, man, OKC Thunder, if I'm them, I'm sniffing that trophy. I'm smelling that trophy in the building. Anything can happen in a game seven, in turn of an ankle, whatever the case may be. I don't think OKC Thunder want to experience any of that.
Nope. They're going to be like the Florida Panthers tonight.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
they better close because Edmonton on that tail if they don't.
Very close, very close.
Yep.
So I'm choosing a celebration that's going to be happening this coming Thursday. And just as I said that, the following Thursday is the NBA draft. And there's been some interesting moves here, Danny, that we need to talk about. One noted move here is that of the Indiana Pacers actually making a trade. They make a trade to get their first round pick back from the from the New Orleans Pelicans. So they traded their first round selection this year, the number 23 pick to the New Orleans Pelicans, and they again acquired their own first round pick in 2026. So ultimately, this frees up some cap room. They said the trade clears out nearly $3.2 million in salary cap for the Pacers.
Mm-hmm.
And they own their own first round picks in the next 7 consecutive drafts starting in 2026. So the Pacers are well positioned to make some moves, make some changes. They're young.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to do a couple of things here. Maybe they do something else than Miles Turner or whatever the case may be. But they're going to have some young assets, some young dogs to come in. And then also they have trade capital with these picks.
Yep.
So they can get a superstar. And I think one of the things too, last night's game really reminded me. I'll take you back here, Danny. Last night's game really reminded me of when Chris Middleton blew up in one game. So it feels like in the NBA Finals, it's good to have two good players, very good players,
Yep.
because they're on the opposing teams are going to key on that star or superstar.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to free up your second player to go ahead and blow up. Eerie familiar, right?
You got it.
Middleton
Against
blows up
Phoenix.
against Phoenix. The other one, Drew Holiday, he
Yep.
blew up at Phoenix. He kept
Mm-hmm.
the Bucks in it. So I think what the Pacers are going to do, I can see them making a trade for another star because Halliburton ain't it. I think this whole thing about is he a star, superstar, whatever case may be, Magic said it best. A superstar is who, when that person, that player comes to your town, you want to go see.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that about Halliburton. I want to go see Halliburton. That's just for me personally.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
wouldn't. I wouldn't consider him Halliburton a superstar. He's not on that Steph Curry tier. He's not on that LeBron James. He's not on that Kobe Bryant, rest in peace,
Mm-hmm.
tier. No. Mm-mm. By no stretch of imagination. And last night's 0 field goals proved it. That's where we are. Another blockbuster trade that happened. Memphis Grizzlies trading away Desmond Bane to the Orlando Magic for Kentavious Caldwell Pope. Also, they'll get Cole Anthony and also 4 unprotected first round picks and a first round pick swap. Are you kidding me? That's a lot, Danny, for Desmond Bane. So
Agree.
to me, there's something going on in Memphis, man. Maybe I don't know if they're trying to get ready for Jaren Jackson contract extension. If they're going to do something with Ja Morant, maybe they trade away Ja Morant. I don't know. But
Mm-hmm.
Desmond Bane and for 4 first round picks, who's their GM? In what world do you trade away for? That reminds me of when New York got Mikal Bridges for what 4 or 5 first round picks. You kidding me? I don't know. That's interesting. but it's a rebuild, I think, opportunity for Memphis Grizzlies. I think it provides them some flexibility. And you get Cole Anthony, uh, who's a good player. So this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out. All these trades. What say you, Danny?
Desmond Bane trade also reminded me of when Rudy Gobert got traded to the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves gave up all that draft capital
Mm-hmm.
for Rudy
Mm-hmm.
Gobert, and everyone's kind of looking like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Desmond Bane is a good player, right? But
Mm-hmm.
and he fits what they're trying to do as far as they needed someone solid that can score because all of the injuries they faced last year with
Mm-hmm.
Bankero and Wagner. But that was a lot I thought to give up for Desmond Bane, and then it made me think if the Bucks were to trade Giannis after seeing that haul,
Yeah.
what is the going price for Giannis if Desmond Bane is
10 first round picks.
that's what, that's what I thought of instantly. I'm like, what are we doing here? But
But
do they even value the picks because they figure they're going to be top of the East or in the
that
top four?
that part, and I think that's why, these general managers are going this route.
Mm-hmm.
They don't value the picks like that anymore. I think they're looking at it from the standpoint of drafting is a risk. You don't know what you're going to get out of
Yep.
these drafts, right? So
Mm-hmm.
let me go ahead and trade for the pieces I know,
Yep.
the players that I know, based
Mm-hmm.
upon their performance in the NBA court in the NBA system, with NBA, backed by NBA, uh, coaching, nutrition system, the whole nine. And at first, I because remember, Horst did this too. That's why we're in the position that we're in right now. I
Yep.
think it was a combination of Horst trading away these picks,
Well,
thinking the same thing. We'll just go ahead and accumulate players through trades
mm-hmm.
because we know how they perform. But look in the position that we're in right now.
Totally backfired, man.
Not only that, but in terms of drafting and developing the picks, because keep in mind in the NBA, you can't trade away consecutive picks
Yep.
that you have, first round picks that you have. First round pick, after first round pick every other year has
Mm-hmm.
been a bust for us.
Yep.
There has been no development. And therefore, we haven't been able to create a young nucleus around Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
So I think some of these GMs, I think you have some GMs in the new age way of doing things, and
Yep.
then you have some GMs who are in the old school way of doing things. And this seems like this Memphis GM is in the old school way of doing things.
Kind of like OKC because you look at Sam Presti,
Mm-hmm.
he, they're sitting on a ton of picks
Mm-hmm.
and they're talented now. So
And they're young.
as we head into the NBA draft, there should be some action starting to happen with some of these
Oh, most
names.
definitely. Most
And so
definitely.
we'll be looking forward to that.
There's always already talk about KD, who
Mhm.
he's interested in. Seems like the New York Knicks, they're not interested in KD. I think Houston and Minnesota and Miami were other teams that KD was interested in. So we'll see. We'll see. This is going to be interesting times. Danny, there's a question that has been brought up in the media about whether or not Giannis has underachieved. Media folks who have said, yes, Giannis has underachieved. Giannis said so himself, according to some media reports, in where he said basically wanted another ring. I
Mhm.
think any player who has reached the mountaintop, has celebrated with the champagne,
Yeah.
is going to want to experience that yet again.
Hmm.
But I don't think Giannis has necessarily underachieved if his career ends with just one ring. I mean, granted, should he have more rings? Yeah, but it's a team and organization thing in putting together a team. I mean, let's think about it. I mean, I think after the Bucks won the championship, we immediately thought, "Oh shoot, this should be game to get another one."
Yep.
But you can say that about what, six, seven other teams every year, because keep in mind we've had six or seven different champions consecutively over the past six, exact number, six, seven times. So you can theoretically say, did the Denver Nuggets underachieve? Did the Joker underachieve? If OKC Thunder, if they win this year and don't win next year and they're young, did they underachieve? If they never make it to that point again, I
Yep.
mean, that says a lot. And granted, yes, Giannis is great. I mean, think about it: Defensive Player of the Year, the All Star teams, NBA first team, whatever the case may be. But from where he came from, selling trinkets and sunglasses, all that
Yep.
stuff in Greece, to being drafted, nobody knowing who he was, especially us. I remember, I will never forget, I was on a call with the fellas draft night. Giannis' name comes up. We were like, man, who is this? And we immediately went, I know I did, went to YouTube trying to find some video footage of who is this player that the Bucks got. What?
Yep.
And lo and behold, he's the one who brought us a championship, first time in over 50 years. So, what do you feel, Danny?
I don't agree with that at all, man. Giannis brought a championship to Milwaukee, like you mentioned, but it's just looking at his career. He's putting up great numbers still, and
Mm-hmm.
he's been dealing with injury after injury from his team, Middleton, Dame Lillard,
Drew.
Drew. So he's been there through the thick and thin, keeping Milwaukee competitive. Granted, they haven't been to the championship, but like you said, who else has? Now, I will say that his GM skills have underachieved, but with the with the coaching and that whole some of those moves a couple years ago that involved Drew Holiday, that's where he's underachieved in the coaching decision. But on the court, no,
Mm-hmm.
man, he's he's still top five, and it's on the Bucks, man, to put a product out there. But sometimes you just
Yep.
can't help injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Middleton,
Mm-hmm.
Middleton being hurt in that whole Olympic trip, those games really set the Bucks back.
Right after that, I mean, that was a lot for both Milton
Middleton
and
and
Drew. Think
Drew,
about
yes,
it. They both went, for Olympic gold immediately following the championship run. I believe the parade was early in the week, later in the week. They both were
yep,
on the plane, headed on over for the Olympics. So put your body through all that
yeah. They
and
couldn't
then
they beat him up.
couldn't maintain. Yeah, they beat them up. I don't think we feel that Giannis has underachieved at all. And
No,
now, Danny, on to a little baseball talking where Shohei Ohtani, he comes back to pitching. Pitched one inning, had an earned run, a run there, two hits, posted ERA of 9.00, and he's back pitching. And just as he pitched, he definitely hit 2 for 4, had two ribbies, one walk, also had two Ks, but he's back to being a double threat in that fashion. Ohtani is back, man, and the Dodgers beat up on the San Diego Padres 6-3. This is the series I'm very interested in, especially with the Padres just a few games behind the Dodgers here in the NL West. And so now 4 games behind the Dodgers. San Francisco only 2.5 games behind the Dodgers. So these races are close. What say you, Danny, about Shohei?
it's great to see him back. The Dodgers couldn't pitch him much because they couldn't send him down for assignment. So usually, if someone's injured, they get to go through single A, double A, triple A, kind of get their, like in his case, get his arm back and get some practice against the minor leaguers. Dodgers couldn't do that because then you take his bat out the lineup and they can't. They're not afforded the opportunity, so they're going to ease him back in, as we saw last night. His velocity looked really good. He topped over 100. So I think it's just going to take a couple weeks to get him going. Because like I said, he didn't get a chance to do a rehab assignment. And he's still hitting. So for him to do what he did last night, all the pressure on him last night, coming back, I thought it was fine. So we'll see what happens. And then too, something to note, he doesn't count against their pitching arms. So like from the bullpen and starting pitching. So he's like, so the Dodgers get all the benefits now of this, of Ohtani. Now it's just a matter of him, getting back into pitching shape. I'll call it that, in his arm, where he can throw more than 3 innings, 4 innings, and kind of work himself up. So he's ready for the playoff run. But it was nice just to see him out. Didn't know necessarily how he was going to bounce back, but I thought he did fine considering.
Thank you for joining us at Back Porch Talk Podcast. You can also join us on Twitter by tweeting us at @back_podcast. For more information, you can go to our website, which is backporchtalkpodcast.com. You can also email us at backporchtalkpodcast@gmail.com. Again, thank you for joining us, and remember that there's enough hate in the world, so go ahead and spread a little love.